Unified welcomes you to the following presentation of the Midwest Esports Conference. Here at the MEC, we partner with schools all over the Midwest to create premier gaming experiences.
The most common angles that the operator plays. This is like second to only B long. Fight is likely having a leg shot, but they're too slow. Hariri lands a perfect headshot.
Laying in the damage zone and them on out. Going into A4. Look at Sage. Laying in the middle.
Sage?
Laying in the damage. Going in revenge for their honey.
No way!
Way taller. Sage Wabe gets the quadra kill.
That was
great. That sounds fun, so I'll give it a chance. And then we ended up playing in high school the next 2 years together. We've been playing ever since. So he kind of taught me the game. We've been playing on a team since then, and then now we're in college, so we can't play together anymore.
We do love all the players, even the ones we shit talk. We love you all. We love you all. lots of body.
Soul.
Pluto looking for the plank. Trickster waiting, maybe looking for the steal. Pluto has his engage. The scatter of the weak comes through. Watch Levi though. Levi hasn't been touched just yet, but the damage is coming through. The melt line gets melted. Jinkwall on a killing spree, and all of Ottawa goes down.
Why, those don't go in. It goes off the sidebar.
Starting to come out, the flash is popped, the rolling thunder is utilized to perfection, and now it's all on Thiessen, but Thiessen just keeps on going.
Welcome to the MEC. Enjoy the show.
Howdy one and all, and welcome back. It is Midwest Esports Conference, and we are in the waning portions of league play. Day number 6 is on the docket for you, and tons of fun, as well as finding out just who goes into the playoffs with that number 1 seed. Kendo Slice alongside the captain. Wait, who's happening? It's Captain Atsoka.
Yep, absolutely, and it is great to be back. Oh my goodness, yes. Had a week off last week. It was Mardi Gras season here in New Orleans, Louisiana, so you know that is the time of celebration, the time of Carnival. So was not here last week, but I'm glad to be back this week because I am ready to get back into some more Rocket League action. Again, it has been a fantastic season so far, and as we are dwindling down towards the playoffs, it's only going to get better and better. As you can see, ONU and Miami, Ohio currently in the top spot, but we have seen some great games coming out from both Cleveland State and Illinois College.
Yes, we have, and the thing that is a threat at the moment, as I'm looking at the top 3 teams specifically going down the line, is there is a possibility that we could see this season end with all 3 of those teams sitting on top of the standings, which is extremely interesting. We're calling it the Circle of Smash. It's the Ohio edition. Of course, all 3 teams from Ohio. Cleveland State University had the 0-3 against Miami of Ohio early on. Ohio Northern fell to Cleveland State, and then the Redhawks coincidentally fall to the Polar Bears yesterday on the stream. They're the ones leaders in the clubhouse. Match differential, if all 3 are tied, gonna end up being the golden tiebreaker. That's why we'll have that on the other side of the screen for you to look at. They're the ones leaders in the clubhouse. Cleveland State gonna have their work cut out for them, but Cleveland State also the team that has 1 more game to play, so that could easily turn into a +6. If you had even footing for all 3 teams.
Yeah, and then you also have to keep in mind is that, you know, we recently had the spring clash, and I got to tell you, that was truly a sight to see, to say the least. And again, we got to see some great games. Illinois College stepped up in such a big way during the spring clash that I'm convinced that they can actually make an honest run in the postseason, and they performed extraordinarily well. Not to mention Concord also ended up getting, I'm sorry, mispronounced Cornell, not Concord. That's from a different league. Cornell actually managed to build quite a bit of a fan base after the spring clash as well, because Cornell, they came in and they ran the lower bracket. As a matter of fact, they managed to take out ONU, so they now have a pretty good reputation going on forward. Even though that right now their standings not looking so great, they still managed to show themselves what they have the potential to become when it comes to these high tense situations like the playoffs, and then of course eventually into the championships. So we'll see. I mean, it's still, as far as I'm concerned, it's still anyone's game.
The mindset for me always going to be in collegiate esports, are you improving? And that is going to be a question that we talk about in that second game specifically, because it's going to be a banger. But we're going to talk about game number 1 on the docket. Ohio Northern feeling very good about themselves. Uncle Stan, as we've been given the permission to call him, but Soul Taker Nation, J. Rupp and Kip have looked spectacular. Illinois College sitting at 2-2, 6-7 in individual game. Viper, Rune, and Gunner 81 have also been equal to the task. It seems like at every turn, but for me, Cap, maybe you're sitting on the same seat that I am. I think this is Ohio Northern's chance to really make a statement at the top of the leaderboard.
I mean, it definitely is, considering that they're going to want some comeback because Illinois College ended up finishing higher than ONU at the Spring Clash. So I can imagine that ONU is not too happy about this. But one thing, Kendo, that I actually got to learn from the Spring Clash, we got to sit down and we got to have an interview with Josh, and what happened was that we have been, and not to mention we also had a chance to actually sit down and get an interview with Dwight, who is actually Run. Their name is pronounced Run. You and I had been trolled deliberately by one of Run's friends. Yeah, and we were trolled live, and Run himself even said that we had been trolled. So it's pronounced Run and not Rune.
Okay, so as mentioned before in previous times, it is a constant learning process for the names of these players. It's one of the things I take great joy in because there'll be days where we just don't get it right whatsoever. So Run, not Rune, for Illinois College, looking to start things off strong, and it's GG Runner to get the cover.
Yeah, it turned out GG Runner is actually pronounced Guga Runner, but in all seriousness,
no way.
I'm kidding. I'm 100% kidding. GG Runner able to get the first goal to go off of the crossbar touch. And just like that, Illinois College take that 1-0 lead. And remember, I'm telling you, Illinois College stepped up their game so much at the Spring Clash. I think they have what it takes to go the full distance. And you know what? They're starting with the right foot forward here. So far, still very early, just over a minute to go.
I definitely agree with you, but they're going to have to keep things defensive. Kip coming in, and this is a brilliant breakout from the mid. You want to keep the pressure there. The demo comes through, and all three members against one defender back to the net. That's a tough time. Ohio Northern evens things out.
Well, if you are going to be trying to recover late in the game, you're gonna have a bad time, and that is pretty much what we have just learned. And now you can see GG Runner trying to take control here, as this one's gonna go back out towards the side, towards the mid, and now out towards the side, going up high into the corner of ONU. And right now it's just a pretty big scrap. ONU right knocking at the door, trying to find the next goal.
They are, but they don't want to give up an easy one just like that. Ohio Northern, they were not hot patrot in order to get that open opportunity. Can't leave loose balls in the midfield for any team, let alone Ohio Northern, sitting at the top of the conference standing. So, Polar Bears working their way up through the midfield, looking to ice an advantage against Illinois College. Illinois College not wanting to let them have any room, but with 50s like that, Ohio Northern, plenty of opportunity. Good backhand defense on the goal line.
Yeah, and we're seeing just again a real back and forth. Things completely slowed down until Viper is able to get it to go. And just like that, they're able to take a 2-1 lead right under 3 minutes. And you have to wonder, where was the rotation from ONU?
It wasn't there, that's for sure. And it's going to be something that they wish they had back, because Illinois College playing with the advantage again means they can be a little bit more aggressive. The pressure of the scoreboard, along with the opportunity to maybe make a mistake. You know you got one in the pocket for game number one. Keep that pressure on. Do not relent. It's going to be one of the important factors of this game. And 50-50 win. J-Rup immediately up, down, and in. Brilliant from the midfield. Look at this control.
Oh, absolutely. This is a little finesse here. I mean, they're able to get the touch off the sidewall and then read it perfectly. I mean, don't get me wrong. J-Rup made it look easy, but I can assure you it is not. Reading it off the waterfall drop to get the double touch, you have got to have some pretty good high IQ to read that bounce. So again, great play coming from J-Rup.
2-2. 2 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock, and Ohio Northern, again, they seem to be the team that's in command as far as position of challenge goes. Illinois College struggling to maintain possession through the midfield and onward. Plays like, jumping on ball control forward. Gonna need to see a little sustain from Illinois College. They might get that here. GT Runner, Frost, traveling with the ball, does not maintain though. And a bump on the front end. This is J-Rup free, but unable to get the finish. Do they have the secondary touch? It's high, lofted in the box, and followed well by Kip.
And this is a good example of if you don't succeed at first, try again, because we saw the initial double touch and it went down and by the wayside, and Kip is able to follow it up with a shot of their own. And honestly, the first initial shot and thereafter, they were able to pull a lot of the defense out from Illinois College, which gave them the open opportunity for Kip to put that one in. And now ONU in the late game get a 1-goal lead.
Ooh. Oh, I was pausing for a second there. Soul Taker Nation's gonna get one off of the clear, but Run just not able to maintain control. It's again an exhibit of loose clearing that you cannot have. Angle, little bit tough, but so is trying to make that save off the backboard.
I mean, right now, this late in the game, you do not want to go down 2 goals if you're Illinois College. They have got to start getting some offense going, and it feels like it's been a while since we've seen them even get a shot on target as they go for the midfield pass, but it's not going to be any good. Viper now with a little boost in the tank, trying to make something work as it is deflected by the defense of ONU. Now going up high in the mid, scoring opportunity. The touch is there, but not quite on the mark.
Just under a minute to go. Illinois College wants something. They want it now. Opportunity rests in the possession of Ohio Northern. Look to keep the ball in the offensive zone. Long clear. Nobody home. Is that in? Yes, it is. It's Run with a brilliant clear from the own end.
Oh yeah, that one is going in, and just like that, Illinois College are able to get one more goal to go and put themselves that much closer to equalizing. And I gotta tell you, this is a pretty high-scoring game for a game 1. 7 goals in total on the board, 34 seconds left to go. Illinois College still have a chance to equalize.
They will look to do. Early press off of the kickoff will be in favor of Illinois College, but they will give up the possession here. Tough spot for Viper, but has a little help from a friend. GG Runner. J-Rup to continue this on. Loses control, but it's a little too disoriented in the corner and forward. They need a shout in order to get this one down, and Ohio Northern are going to comfortably win game number 1.
I mean, you say comfortably, but it was still a 1-goal difference. I mean, it was coming down to the wire, especially in those last 30 seconds. But my goodness, I mean, when you talk about possession, it was going all the way of ONU. You're looking at 10 total shots in comparison to only 5 coming to Illinois College. That is literally doubling the shot count, which only tells me that possession was in control of ONU nearly the entire time. And I mean, you look at the save count, there were 4 saves on the board. So realistically, there should have been 6 goals because 2 of those shots coming from ONU simply off target. But with that being said, if Illinois College want to try and take game 2 away from ONU, they have got to start breaking out of their own half.
It needs to be better than a 60-40 division as far as possession win. Yeah, the shots on were indicative of a little more pressure for that of Ohio Northern. Not everything was a threatening shot. But for Illinois College, much better control from their breakout, from their own zone forward, will do them a lot of favors. By no means are they out of the match. In fact, they kept it close the entire way around, and if I'm the coach, that's what I'm talking about. You are staying with these guys. It don't matter that they're at the top of the standings.
Well, here we go, getting right back into the action here for game number 2. And right now, Illinois College look like they're going to start off with some aggression as you have Viper off the back wall, able to get rid of Kip, but the follow-up clear and the touch is there coming from ONU. A great pass upfield, looking for the fast break and the demo, but they're not going to be able to get it to go.
Something that Ohio Northern very comfortable with doing, putting a little physicality, taking extra players out of rotation. And for Illinois College, it's proven to be tough for them. Soul Taker Nation's going to get the goal on this one.
Yeah, and you know what? This one was tough. I mean, this is a hard read coming off the backboard, and it's a feels bad because they did get the last touch off the defense, and it is an own goal no matter which way you look at it. We're going to chalk it up as an own goal. But for ONU, it does say in Rocket League Proverbs that we take those.
Indeed, it does. I believe it is first whiffitations for 11.
Oh, here we are getting right back to it, and ONU look to strike again. Uncle Soul Taker Nation, Uncle Stan, delivering us yet another goal. But you got to give J-Rup the credit. You know, they were the ones that got the play rolling and got the ball going. As that one managed to find the back of the net. ONU now with a comfortable 2-goal cushion.
You know, just a verse later there in whiffitations, it is a threefold pass is much more valuable, despite the fact you don't get 2 assists for it. Ohio Northern have looked very good here early on in game number 2, and you seem to be a maintaining of the presence that we saw in the first. We have something in the tank for Illinois College. They need to change things up. They would like to get that ball out of their own defensive box. Some dangerous saves on the goal line.
And this is kind of what we've seen Illinois College fall into in the last game, and they're falling back into old habits as J-Rup is going to get the ball to fall right into the net of Illinois.
I thought Run had this too. J-Rup, really good tracking on the goal, but Run needs to make that play, especially when you know you're the last one back. Failure on the back end. I don't think it's indicative of skill. I don't think it's indicative of Illinois College being a lesser body against Ohio Northern right now. It's just the momentum is purely in the Polar Bears' side.
Absolutely, and Rocket League is, if not anything, a momentum-based esport. I mean, they can definitely pile on, as it looks as though ONU is piling on the momentum as they look to pile on the goal count, as that one barely gets saved and cleared away by Run, keeping this still at a 3-game deficit right at halftime.
This will be high off of the backboard. J-Rup again, another double tap added to the display. The montage and the pass coming through was also immaculate.
And it's so heartbreaking too, because GG Runner was so close to getting that touch and clearing it out, but they just could not get a touch on the ball off the back wall. And again, they constantly find themselves having to recover, having to go back and rotate on defense, and in which case, you know, they find themselves out of defensive positioning on plays like this. Unfortunate double commit leaves a wide open opportunity once again for ONU.
Struggle has definitely been trying to get the ball out the defensive zone, and I get the feeling that'll be my monologue in between games shortly, so I won't go into it too much. Just looking for somebody to get a clear and not a back touch towards the net. This is yet another one that puts the ball in harm's way. They will get a long clear, but it's in the waiting arms of J-Rup, who's going to usher the ball right back in. Looking more and more like a hockey power play, if you ask me, Cap, and a little bit of possession is going to go a long way. They might get that right here. A nice pass towards the middle, but J-Rup quick to interrupt.
Yeah, that was a great read coming from J-Rup there. Again, it's really hard to predict those passes because when you're in those 2v1 scenarios, it's really coming down to a 50-50. Are they going to try and go for the solo flick play, or are they going to try and pass? You really have to be able to read where the ball is and where it's positioned on your opponent in order to predict whether it's going to be a pass or a flick. Meanwhile, Kip is not going to pass. They're going to take it all by their lonesome all the way to the back of the net.
I like what we saw out of Viper trying to get in front of that challenge before it ended up being a lofted carry from the midfield onward. That I need more of. I'm looking at 69 seconds left. I'm looking at Ohio Northern 5-0. I want to, if I'm Illinois College, focus on the little things. Get in front of some of these challenges and maintain a presence on Ohio Northern's possession. Don't just allow them to have free reign bringing the ball into your zone.
And what's even nuttier is that you see Kip just then pre-jumping, trying to play off of J-Rup's initial shot. And I mean, it was there. It looked good. It still looks good as that one is literally threading the needle. Both players jump, both defenders jump from Illinois College. And right now this ONU team just has Illinois shaking in their own net.
Definitely on a string, as is the ball at times. This one might be a touch in the right direction. J-Rup looking to control off their own back wall. They don't get in time, though. That could have been a loose touch. Illinois College could have jumped on. Here comes Kip from the midfield onward, looking for one more montage goal. It will be a pass on to J-Rup down. But nothing doing again. Do they have one more in them? Soul Taker Nation, the ball should have been in, but we've run out of time. 5-0, the scoreline for game number 2. And this was a scoreline a little more indicative of what we saw in game number 1, just as far as the possession went.
I mean, the possession was literally just ONU. I mean, they have 12 shots recorded on the board compared to only 2 from Illinois College. I mean, that differential is just too high. And when you're not getting that many shots, you have to compensate with saves, which Illinois College weren't able to do. They only got 4 saves on the board in comparison to the 12 shots that came from ONU. So the only way you can make up for a shot count like that is to have a spectacular defense. And unfortunately, we didn't see it. And it results into that 5-0 scoreline that we managed to get after game number 2. And now ONU put themselves onto match point and on the verge of getting a 3-0 sweep over Illinois College.
And the other thing I want to mention about those saves is they were goal line saves. You were allowing the ball to get far too deep in your own defensive zone. You want to get out and challenge much earlier. We saw shades of that on a couple of missed challenges in the midfield. I'd like to see, if I'm Illinois College, a little bit more of that. All the while, they have to dodge the demos, and that's the cause for goal number 1.
Well, there you have it. Take a look at this. I mean, ONU not wasting any time. 7 seconds off the rip, off the kickoff, able to find a goal, looking to end things here and now in game 3.
Really appreciate the camera view on the replay. It gave us a full Monty of what went down for that goal. Was there a defender in position? Yes, so great rotation, but you have to be able to dodge the demo and still maintain enough control to keep the ball out. Nothing doing this time around, and Ohio Northern once again will start things off well. Yet another misplay on the goal line. Kip's going to score this.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, ONU are just playing so well that it's going to be hard to get them out of their zone. I mean, once a team gets their groove, it's nearly impossible to get them out of it. I mean, the only way you really can is to just start attacking, and then trying to steal some momentum back in your favor. But, I mean, they're playing on another level right now. I mean, every single play looks like it's coming off of a flip reset into a musty flick. And you can tell ONU, they're having a fun time while they're out there right now.
I do agree. Fun time all around, and J-Rup's going to make it even more fun. I brought cake to the matter, I reckon, as this becomes a little bit of a musty into confusion into own goal.
Yes, it did appear as though Illinois College hurt itself in its own confusion. But with that being said, ONU now up 3-0 again, off to some spectacular passes. I mean, a lot of these passes, again, coming off the ceiling touches, the musty flicks, and everything in between. Ooh. Still maintaining control, even with 0 boost, able to get it out to the corner. The pass was good, but the shot just a little off.
We see a little bit of forward progress here for Illinois College. This will be a high lofted touch off the side wall and down. Thanks for GG Runner and company. Take more control. I don't like the fact that they delayed on that, though, because it allowed Ohio Northern to get in an offensive position again.
And take a look at this. I mean, that was just a great 50 coming out from the corner, and then another 50, and the goalie pull right there in the near post. That's so tough, and it just feels like the communication wasn't there. At that point, you know, you either have to call off your teammate or you have to give up possession of the ball, because then mistakes like that happen. ONU have not been giving up on any of these plays. If they can get a 50-50, if they can get a touch, they're going for it.
Well, it's another instance where at least in my mind, communication needs to be come in, rotate in, and take the possession of the ball, because I'm backward and they're coming fast. Was the rotation fine? Yes, you had one person on ball, you had one person trending towards the back post of the net, but the moment that you've stymied your forward pressure, you need to keep it going. And for Illinois College, forward pressure has been something that has been relatively absent from this matchup. They're going to need to find it if they want to have a chance in this matchup specifically. Granted, it's getting tougher with each Ohio Northern goal.
And we still haven't even reached halftime yet, and they already have 4 on the board for ONU. And I think they're going to try and keep that trend going, as currently they are on the back foot here, going off of their back wall. Big demo from J Rupto to give them a little breathing room and take the fight back to the midfield.
At this point, it's insult to injury. It's almost borderline mean, especially when they're finding double taps. They're continuing possessions in the box, on the goal line, multiple attempts at a save, but the ball isn't even headed toward the net yet. They're just dangling the possession in the box and maintaining the possession, allowing Illinois College to make mistakes. They don't need the goal at that point. They just need to maintain what they're doing. That being said, here comes Run. First goal on the board for Illinois College.
Not bad at all. This looks good. You got the touch, the pass, and the follow-up bump to clear the way for the shot, and the shot's on target. And that right there is just fundamental Rocket League. That's how you get the job done. That's how you get goals on the board. And with just over 2 minutes to go, Illinois College can still make it happen.
Yes, they can. And if you're everybody else in that top 3 watching this matchup, you are hoping Illinois College can get something together here in the last minute, 45 seconds. And you don't want to see Ohio Northern, who are already vaunted high up in the game differential, get an even more of a lead there. Ball being pushed out by Kip, and Illinois College still struggling through the midfield for possession. I do like the idea of getting a pass on. Great 50-50 challenge will bring the ball across, but they need to have somebody on the possession right now. There needs to be a sense of urgency. Here it comes. They maintain the possession, but once again, they're just whacking the ball a little too hard and unable to stick with it at times.
I mean, at this point, I'll be completely honest, and you know what? I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It just doesn't feel like Illinois College is playing as a team, and ONU is just playing as a singular unit. Like, ONU have been so synergized with their rotations, with their passes, and everything else that it is all been successful, whereas Illinois College, it just looks like they're not even going for pass plays. It's like they're all just trying to get a solo play to go. So instead of it being a 3v3, it's a 1v3, 1v3, 1v3.
Sounds like the buffet versus me, 2023. But we don't want to talk about that, folks. Illinois College still looking for another goal to progress things, and all 3 members got a little too far forward, although I will say that's where you want to be at this point. You want to make sure that you keep the opportunities on, but Ohio Northern's defense equal to the task at every corner. Even what could have been a sure goal blocked out by Kip. Illinois College, they will fall 3-0 in this series, and it feels bad. I would have liked to seen a touch more of the improvements throughout, but the theme of the game, it just was Ohio Northern. We're going to possess the ball. We're going to put the ball off the backboard if you're not guarding it. And we're going to make sure that everything for your defense is miserable.
Yeah, and again, it was just tough because, like we were saying, ONU, they were playing really synergized. They were playing as a team, and it just seemed like the communication or something was just off from the side of Illinois College. We even made a comment about it when we saw a lot of these double commits, a lot of these jumps, to where it could have just been easy to say, hey, I got the ball, or, take it. There has to be some kind of communication so that way you're not tripping over each other's shoelaces. And unfortunately, Illinois College, they were just kind of all over the place. So I think they need to really regroup, because I know for a fact that they are a much better team than what we saw here tonight, because the Illinois College at the spring clash was phenomenal. So I know they have the potential. I know they can perform better, and I think they know they can perform better. But tonight, it was all about ONU. They came back and they answered back strong, and they have definitely earned their place at the top of the standings.
You're still talking about a 2-3 team. You're still talking about the fight for that 4th seed, and you have to excuse me for calling it a fight for the 4th seed, because it's still very much up in air how things are going to go in the top. But a perspective fight for 4th seed, Cap, they're still in the lead for that, and that 4th seed going to be very, very important come playoff time, because you don't want to end up facing a team that is in the high vaunted, lofted portions of the conference standings. You want to be exactly where Illinois College is. So you take your licks and you end up learning from them. That is what collegiate esports all about. Speaking of esports, we are talking all the time about people powering esports, and then we're talking specifically about the gamers. Esports events, more than just a place to complete. It is a social experience, something that you and I very much like, Cap. We've had our fair share of those. You get to meet friends. You get to meet rivals. You get to grow. We were talking about the Clash earlier, the growing experience, and making reference to how Illinois College specifically was able to grow through that experience. They were able to show off a very good showing during that. What we're trying to say, though, is these events, they can capture the passion of esports in its truest sense. So gamers and their experience are just one aspect covered in Unified's newest offering. It's Mastering the Arena. People power esports, and you can read using the command people power. So exclamation point people power in the chat to check that one out. We're going to go to a quick break. We're going to bring in an interview, I imagine, so you don't want to go away. Howdy, one and all. We're right back with more Midwest Esports Conference action, and it is Kendo Slice alongside Captain Soka and Soul Taker Nation. The Unk, how are you feeling after what was a dominant series? Looking at, you got people behind you. You're smiling. I know you feel good about it, but on the card, quite literally 13 goals to 4 over 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, game one, we came out a little slow. Obviously, we still got the win, but we were kind of like, okay, we got to actually, lock in a little bit, show up. And then after game two, yeah, it was just kind of us coasting, just having a good time.
Yeah, honestly, the aerial acrobatics were on full display. I gotta ask, at what point did it go from trying to get the goals on the board to like trying to fill up the highlight reel? Because I mean, you in particular was coming absolutely nutty with some of the musty flip resets, the ceiling touches. I even saw J-Rup go for a pre-jump a couple of times, and I gotta tell you, it was absolutely fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, midway through game 2, once we got like a 2-3 goal lead and we were just kind of chilling, having a good time, we just started like pre-jumping, trying to go for some cool shots. I know I missed a pre-jumped 0-second goal at the end of game 2. I was pretty sad about that, but yeah.
And you know what? I ask you the fun question first because here comes the tough question, okay? Okay, after Spring Clash, because again, y'all were favorited to win. Y'all were the #1 seed, and it was, it was all eyes on ONU, and then y'all ended up going down in the lower semis. So I got to ask you, is tonight do you think tonight was like a much bigger statement that going forward, that type of mishap is not going to happen again?
Yeah, I don't know so much about tonight. I think yesterday when we beat Miami 3-1, I think that was like us finally like, playing our game, figuring it out, and showing up when we needed to.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we're not going to delay you anymore as far as that goes. And I know we've had you for a couple of shout-outs already. It doesn't even have to be a shout-out. Anything you want to cover before we send you off?
Yeah, I'm just excited for playoffs for MEC, and definitely shout out to my teammates. Game 3, I had 0 points. I didn't touch the ball a single time. So
that is Soul Taker Nation, the king of 0-point games. Didn't touch the ball at all in game number 3. But, hey, Ohio Northern looking really good. So thank you very much for your time. And we look forward to seeing how you finish things
not
off
the gritty.
as the gritties passed on
Not the
by.
gritty.
Get this guy out of here before we see that one again.
Oh no!
Hey, you know
my
what?
dude. Why
It's
do I feel
all
like that was
about
J-Rup?
fun. It's all about fun, Cap.
Why do I feel like that's a J-Rup move? Was that?
of
Who was
course
that?
it's J-Rup. Of course it's J-Rup.
How did I know? How did I know that was J-Rup? Like, come on.
I love it.
I wasn't at the LAN. I didn't get to meet these people in person, and yet I knew it was J-Rup.
I love that. Well, even more to love is we have 2 more matches on the docket for you tonight, and you're not going to want to miss them. The one I am excited about is coming up next. It's Simpson College versus Cornell College. Don't go away.
We are here live at the MEC Fall Championship. It's Kendo Slice alongside Klutz, one of the Smash players for Miami University of Ohio. Klutz, the question of the day throughout has been, what does esports mean to you?
I think esports means a lot to me. It's an opportunity to sort of show all the effort and love there is for video games, especially competitive ones, because the public doesn't really, like, most people aren't going to learn about esports watching sports,
Yeah.
Like, when you think of sports, you think of, like, football or baseball or something. And I think esports is a great way to show that there are a lot of other forms of competition to love.
I do agree with you there, and finding a way to show people exactly what that is all about. It's what events like this tend to do. We'll get to LANs here in a moment, but is there anything that over the last 3 months, being a part of the Miami University esports squad, has taught you, that you've learned?
I guess something that I have learned that I never really thought about before was that it is important to take breaks even for esports. Because as someone who's played sports before, like I ran cross country, I knew that I needed to take breaks for that, but esports, I never really figured that that a break is something you would need until the past couple of months where I've been shown that, hey, taking a break is actually very good for you.
Scientifically, we might add. Here's
Yeah.
literal studies for
There's
it.
actual research on it.
I love that.
It is important to take breaks.
So the land environment, a little bit diffy, if you ask me. Have you enjoyed your time at lands like this one?
I love LAN events so much. I have grown up with LAN events for my video game because Smash Bros. Is usually played like LAN until around the pandemic when more Wi-Fi stuff came up. But I have grown up with LAN events. I love these events. I love meeting the people at these events. It's so much fun. I don't know if it, aside from meeting people, it doesn't feel a whole lot different, but I love the social aspect of it compared to...
I'm interested to know if this might end up playing into the next question, but it involves favorite esport moment from the last semester.
From the last semester.
It could be a LAN for all I know. Granted, it could be a play.
There are probably two. I don't know which one I'd be able to choose. Actually, I think I could narrow it down to one. Definitely going to Riptide 2023 with the Miami Esports varsity team. Genuinely the most fun I've ever had at a LAN event, just ever. It's the first time I've ever been to that major, and I've been wanting to go for literal years because it's in Sandusky, Ohio. I live in Ohio.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go to that major for years. Miami gave me that opportunity, and with the people who I was around at the event, it was just so much fun to be there.
I love that. So is there anything you're looking forward to as far as esports future goes? And that'll be my last question. Maybe another Riptide on the horizon?
I hope so. I really do hope so. We have another year for that, though. It's September.
Yeah.
I think just getting better at the game I love.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of just as simple as that. Getting better along with my teammates.
Yeah. And what better way to do that than with the teammates, with that extra perspective, those extra voices, not only rooting you on, but helping you grow, and you likewise helping them grow in exchange. Well, it's been a fantastic day, and thank you so much for the time. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you so much.
And welcome back again. Midwest Esports Conference action on the docket for you. And it is match number 2. Simpson College, Cornell College. Kendo Slice alongside Captain Atsuka. It's Captain Kendo. You know, a fun fact, though. And this may do a disservice to Captain Kendo idea. Siri calls me Captain Daddy.
Oh, no. Who called you that?
Siri.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm not gonna call you that.
No, I don't want you to call me. No, Cap, don't do that.
I'm not calling you that.
Oh no. Calm down, everybody, please. Calm down. We're not doing
Siri,
that.
a freak. Anyway,
I have to think about life.
We just got a 3-0 sweep in the favor of ONU, and next we got Simpson College going up against Cornell. But the interesting thing about that is during the Spring Clash, I know I keep referencing the Spring Clash because it was so awesome, and if you missed it, then on you. But the thing about Cornell during the Spring Clash is that they were the ones to knock ONU out.
Mm-hmm.
So they gained a lot of fans that day, including some on the desk, and they definitely made a big statement. But the question here is the consistency. The consistency is key. They played great that day. Can they do it again?
Consistency, I think, falls by the wayside when you consider this matchup is 2 1-3 teams, and the winner is going to tie themselves with Illinois College for that vaunted 4th seed. You want that 4th seed. It means you end up playing the 5th seed come playoff time, if I remember correctly. So it's going to be a very of interest for both of these teams. Jay, Crusher, King, Barkley, and Hawkeye going up against High Flux, T-Girl, Sunshine, and Daddy Dido. Really fun. As you mentioned, Cornell College had a great showing during the Clash. Simpson College had a little bit of an opposite showing at the Clash when it came to their results. But one thing of note has been how good this team has looked after the fact. They have been challenging. They have been punching up, as it were. So I have no doubt that this matchup is going to be very interesting between the Rams and the Storm.
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking forward to it. Again, they are both, vying for a good position in the standings. Just that way they can, get some proper seating, get some good seating, and then set themselves up for success come playoff time. But with that being said, again, I'm really interested to see in what Cornell can do because they performed so well at the Spring Clash. And, I hope they continue to build upon that success to get better and better and better. Because, again, you're looking at the overall standings, you're looking at the records, and, Cornell, they're on the latter half of the rankings right now, and honestly I think they could be that team to get into the upper half of the standings. They definitely have what it takes. I mean, they've taken out the number 1 seeded team. They took out ONU, which is not an easy feat to do. So they have the talent, they have the potential. Now it's coming time to hone in on it, refine it, and then duplicate the success again. So again, I'm really looking forward to this matchup as we get 5 minutes on the clock, and we are underway here in game 1.
I see a team in Cornell College that are able to compete with the best of them. And Simpson College is a team, in my opinion, that is competing and vying for most improved team of the conference for this season. And both of them really could lay claim to that with a win here. It would definitely push them in the right direction. One thing is for sure, there's going to be a lot of tenuation on ball control. And early on, Simpson College, one of the reasons I feel like they've been doing such a good job is they are monsters when it comes to getting on ball quickly. Won't lead to a goal here early on, but they have been in control for the first 50 seconds.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. And now you can see T-Girl Sunshine going off the backboard, nearly being able to get it to go. But again, the defense is there in order to clear that one back out. And we're seeing a little bit of a lack of control of what you had said earlier. It's clearly one-sided when it comes to possession, at least so far. But we're still very early on. But right now, Cornell, they really just need to get some communication going and start sharing the ball around, because every time they get a touch, it just feels like they give possession away to Simpson.
That is, and this ball pushed across. don't like the fact Barkley got ahead and it was just kind of overlapping with what could have been a brilliant offensive rotation. That leads to them losing not only possession, but a lot of pressure in the circumstance. A miss will return the favor, though. Hawkeye going to bring this all the way into the offensive zone. Lux down, out. One thing I can say about Cornell College is Lux, Daddy Tito, and E-Girl Sunshine have shown a really good, apt ability when it comes to aerial displays. They don't go to it too often, which is, in my opinion, because they're exhibiting control. They want to make sure that if they do go for it, they're going to make things happen. But what they have shown me in the air has been extremely impressive at times. And Simpson College are going to have to find a way to block that out. Speaking of blocking that one out, this may be a run down the side. No dice.
Yeah, not much doing. And again, normally I would shout you out on this, but you're standing right next to me. We're past the halftime mark of regulation, and there are no more goose eggs on the board. Luckily, Barky got to get the job done before I can make the kendo reference. But regardless, Simpson College, they're going to take the lead here in the second half of regulation.
Yep, no more goose eggs, and one goal going to Barky. This time around, I just looked down the line and the amount of improvement for the Simpson College squad, especially when I look at some of the rankings that we get the opportunity to take a look at what they're doing in rank. They are making strides together as a team, and it is quite impressive. One thing's for sure, both of these teams are definitely listening to the coaching that's coming through, and Hawkeye is living up to their namesake.
There you go. This is what you want to have in the late half of the game. You've got to get another goal on the board and try and start to suffocate the opposition. And right under 2 minutes, Simpson College get that 2-goal cushion, and Hawkeye with the shot to get the follow-up there. Simpson College looking really strong here in game one.
Hey, look at the on-ball presence, though. You want to make sure you kill the ball down and have someone on the challenge. It's something Simpson College has done so well, and that setup was brilliant. Another perfect display of that. No one gets on the ball for Cornell College, and Simpson are running away.
Yeah, that they are. I mean, look at this. Just a nice little floater touch there, and then the read off the bounce off the defender. I mean, my goodness, Simpson College are just kind of bullying the ball into the back of the net at this point. They're really just forcing it in, and I don't think they can be stopped, at least not here in game one.
Or the toe of the line, you have to make sure there's not any slack. And for Cornell College, I'd like to see a little bit less as far as slack goes, because they're just allowing the ball to be in spots like this one.
Yep, and now take a look at this. That was a fantastic touch off the backboard, but it's nothing new. We've seen this play a million times from Simpson College, and it's been working again and again and again. But yet we have yet to see Cornell really correct themselves in order to block the backboard pass. So you've got to start getting on the wall, got to start clinging and breaking up those passes off the backboard before they drop in front of your net.
I would like to see a bit more rotation off the backboard. It is unguarded at this point, and Simpson has taken complete advantage of it. No double commits as well on the back end. Clear communication on who is where in the rotation will definitely go a long way. The good news, this is just game number one in this match between Simpson and Cornell, and it's a clean slate, just 45 seconds away. I can see a little bit of solace from Cornell College. The Rams, that's not an easy mountain to climb, but the mountain undaunting.
My goodness, that crossbar down was painful. I mean, you really want to get a goal on the board before you go into the next game, but Simpson College, they're going to get one more of their own off of the shot, once again from Hawkeye.
See, I don't know that it's the bar down that ends up being as painful as the fact that it ran all the way back the other way, and Simpson College were able to score on it. That, in my opinion, really hurts, and for Cornell College, you're going to have to shake it off. lack of copyright, I won't advance.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Like, I was like, are you going to do it? I was like, okay. But regardless, 5-0 in the favor of Simpson College. 5 seconds left on the board. This one's done and dusted. I mean, we're going to chalk that one up. A nice cheeky demo at the end from Daddy Dee-Doo. And there's nothing much to do left here in game one. Simpson College able to take it and get the first win on the board.
5-0 was not a scoreline I expected to see in any of the games of this series. But for Cornell College, I need forward-facing defenders. Too much of what we saw was a shadow on ball, no forward pressure, and it allowed Simpson College free reign, especially once the ball got into the box. It just seemed like there was more than a second at a time where Simpson College had a chance to go for it again. If you're Cornell College, you can't allow that. You have to get on possession as soon as possible.
Yeah, you got to start breaking up some of these passes, and you got to get on the ball a little bit quicker. It doesn't even matter if you get beat to the ball or not. Just getting your car in the way of a possible pass or a possible shot could cause anything to go askew. But it seems like as though they go for a read on the ball, they see that they're about to get beat, and then they drop back and try and rotate. You can't do that. As soon as you go for the ball, you got to stick with it. You got to commit, even to get in the way and just try and obstruct any possible view that your opposition could have. That it's like the equivalent of putting a hand up in basketball. You've got to do something. You can't constantly just drop back and try and rotate because they're getting beat every time.
I love the reference there. Hands up in basketball. If you don't have your hands up, what are you doing? Get off the court. I know my coach back in the day, I didn't have my hands up. I was getting benched. At this point, hands up defense. You'll be able to cut those chances in half. A conversion rate 5 goals on 8 shots doesn't happen very often, but that's just how much opportunity Cornell College were leaving on the table. And a little better attenuation will go a long way in this one. Here comes T-Girl Sunshine from the middle of the pitch. And I will say, the push from T-Girl tends to be very strong when you have loose touches just like this one.
Oh, and the follow-up shot looking pretty good, too, from Daddy Dee-Doo, but the fast break goes the other way for Simpson College. And once again, Hawkeye is going to be the one to get the shot to drop.
That being said, followed under a series of unfortunate events. The initial save is procured, but in the follow-through, ball immediately off the crossbar down. It ends up being an unfortunate own goal that you do get the save for, but it is first goal to Simpson College. Much better look, though, from Cornell College here in the first 50 seconds. They have been on top of things, and they will need to do that again and again. Staying on top of things. Going to be the priority in through the midfield.
Well, let's see if Cornell can answer back this time, hopefully in the other net, as this one's going to go in towards the corner. T-Girl Sunshine gets beat out. Now going right back up the mid. The shot is on, and it is in. Barkey finds the second goal for Simpson.
This is why communication is so important, though. You know the demo's coming on the back door. You had somebody up on the backboard. Just what we asked for. You had somebody coming through. Back post rotation was going to be there. The demo is what destroys everything. So the fact that Simpson are not only making the adjustments on the fly to this Cornell College press, but they're able to stay ahead of it altogether has me extremely impressed.
Oh, absolutely. You can't help but be impressed. I mean, Simpson College, they have been pretty consistent, but hold the phone. It was getting a little dicey there. Daddy Dee-Doo causing a ruckus in the Simpson net, and somehow, some way, Simpson College still holding on to this 2-0 lead, but they are just pushing themselves closer and closer to getting a third.
Watch as T-Girl Sunshine does wait for the touch there in the midfield, and Cornell College looking to get something cooking and soon. But again, it has been a much more respectable showing thus far. Quick 1-2, dangerous in the box, and I like the defensive tenacity. You're gonna have to do something in that moment, and T-Girl Sunshine came from almost midfield in order to interrupt that one off their own backboard again.
Yeah, you know what? I'm loving the short pass game that we're seeing from Simpson College because, you know, a lot of people like to gawk and awe over the long ball redirects from one pitch to the other, but those short passes are just so cheeky, so quick. And honestly, I think they have the highest conversion rate when it comes from shot to goals. So I would like to see those more often from both sides, as a matter of fact.
And you want to see a healthy balance of short, long. You want the clears to be in there every now and then. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of dump and chase into the offensive zone, especially if it mixes things up. You want to try a wide variety of things. It made the buffet reference earlier, but the offense needs to be like a buffet. If you're not trying something new, you're not trying.
Tis true as they go once again for the cross in the mid. But one thing Simpson College has been really good at doing is breaking up the passes. It's not that Cornell are making terrible decisions. They're actually formulating some pretty good plays, and the passes are there. It's just that Simpson College, they're playing for interception. They're playing for the challenge. Like we had said earlier, they're playing hands up car ball. They are getting in the face of opposition, and they are breaking up the plays before they can even be made. And that's why, once again, we see Cornell, unfortunately, with a goose egg.
I will say, though, the possession of play has gradually turned itself towards the middle of the pitch. So that is a step in the right direction for Cornell College. Would like to see a little more control, though, a little less hopping into ball challenge when you don't really need to. It makes you sometimes off ball. It sometimes can hit the ball a little bit too hard. With 45 seconds to go. They'll be looking to reset. Pass quickly intercepted by Simpson College. Here comes Flux, who does a very good job in the air. Gets demoed despite moving forward, and I like the move forward. It's something they need to do when they're down this far in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, and you know, I like the change of play here. Cornell, respectively, had started to bring out a lot of the physical play, a lot of the demos, which is great, but I think it may just be too little too late. If you're going to make changes to your play style, you've got to do it much earlier on. Only 10 seconds left to go, still down 2, looking like Simpson College is going to take another one.
Well, the midfield play ends up being the theme of this match. The problem was the adjustments didn't come until about 2 minutes in. So 2-0 Simpson College, and an impressive story for the Storm thus far. 7-0 through 2 games is extremely difficult to overcome. But as we look at the stats over here to the side, a much better showing by Cornell to remain on ball. And again, the possession in the midfield, the challenges coming from the midfield. They did a great job of making sure that it wasn't easy street getting into their defensive zone.
Okay, so Kendo's the hero. I'm about to be the villain. Again, I am a bald guy who owns a cat. I have to be the villain here. Because yes, Cornell did step it up. Great. They managed to change the game from 5-0 to 2-0. That was the increase. It's still improvement, and it still is worth being noted. But at the end of the day, they're not playing offense. They only recovered 3 shots on the board. Meanwhile, you got 8 shots coming from the other side of the pitch, coming from Simpson College. And that's the thing. We know Cornell can do better. Cornell knows themselves that they can do better. But I don't know where the hesitancy is coming from. I know they can do better than this. They have got to start playing offense, and they have got to start communicating. There are 3 players on your team. You gotta start using them. They have got to start having a little bit more faith in one another.
Deep breath as that ball very close to going in, but it will be just wide. And an early goal for Simpson College would have put, well, it put me in that state where you had an audible gasp. We do see continued possession, though, by Simpson College. Maintain through, and they'll just give it up. I need Cornell College, though, to break out together. Use some of those short passes that we saw earlier from Simpson College to your advantage instead of just giving the ball away, as they attempted to do right there in through the midfield. Does Flux have the first goal of the game for Cornell College? Not quite, but I do like the pressure coming from the midfield.
Yeah, it's starting to look like Cornell is definitely stepping up their game. Look at the pressure. They already get a shot on target, and they force Hawkeye to get an epic save. 1 minute gone off the clock, and Cornell starting to tug back on the rope. They're starting to battle at the midfield. It's what we saw in late game of Game 2. It was too little too late then, but now they are starting to bring the ruckus with another demo coming from Daddy D-Dude.
Oh, this is off the backboard, and the demo opens everything up. Check this one out, Cap.
Oh, you already know my eyes are wide open on this one. I love the demo plays, and I love the physical play, honestly. And we have already said it, and I will say it again. If you're not getting the physical plays, you're not playing Rocket League. You've got to get those on the board, and that's what Cornell was doing as well. Cornell stepped up their physical play, and then Simpson College just met them toe-to-toe with it. So, you know, that's exactly what I expect. I expect no less. And I don't expect Simpson College to give anything away for free. And when they see themselves stagnated at a 0-0 scoreline, they're going to create an opportunity any way they can. And that includes the demo play.
Well. Cornell College still looking okay, but it is Simpson College starting to take a stranglehold, utilizing that goal advantage and then just the momentum that has been this entire series. Put even more pressure on. Here comes Flux, though. Power through, and that's the first goal.
There we go. That's what we have been waiting to see. Doesn't have to be anything too extravagant over the top. A simple, nice pass play from out the corner, and even putting the opposition in an awkward position. The corner passes are some of the toughest to defend. They get one corner cross out, and Simpson College starts getting missed touches on the ball, which then leads for good opportunities to score. Cornell College finally on the board right before halftime. Still very much in this series. It is not over yet.
Of interest to me is if Simpson College can close things out. This is a chance for a dynamic statement, and they need to make one because they do not own the tiebreaker against the team that is in fourth place currently, Illinois College. So despite it's been a really good showing, going to have to show us some more. A fight for fourth place. Cornell College, though, much better offensive press. Have not been able to sustain some of the touches that I feel like they could be doing a much better job of sustaining.
Yeah, I mean, I love that Cornell is starting to meet with these 50-50s. Before, it was all Simpson College, you know, being the 90-10, the legendary 50-50 god themselves, Fireburner. But now, Cornell College, they're starting to meet Simpson College on a lot of these 50-50s. They're getting into the face of the opposition, and they are hesitating a lot less, and they're playing more confident, and it's resulting to a pretty good game. 1-1 with 1:30 left.
Oh, this is a chance for a goal, Hawkeye. Bring this back towards the net. Will it roll casually in? No! As they miss the secondary touch and the confirm home. Quickly back on the ball, though, is Barkey. And the ball cleared yet again. It's a 3v2. Dropping in the box. Flux keeps it off the scorecard. And Simpson College, in a quick shout, have put so much pressure right back into the Cornell College zone.
I mean, again, you finally see Cornell really getting into the faces of the opposition as they try and keep this ball out as it does go high. Ooh. And the 50-50 is there, and that's what you have to do. You have to get into the face of the opposition. When the other team is cooking, you gotta get in their grill.
Markey, free ball from the midfield on. Elevating is Sunshine to make sure that that is at least phased to the side. Nothing doing just yet. 25 seconds to go. Demo on the goal line. Chance for an open net. A little bit fumbled by Hawkeye. Now it's a chance to transition the ball right back in, but Jay Crusher King will not allow it. Loose touch. Does anyone have this ball as it is dangling in the box? No, not yet. That is over everybody. Does they have the extra touch? No! Simpson College, Cornell College, we go to overtime in game number 3.
And it is the first OT on the day. The clock will now tick upward as we have a golden goal here in Game 3. Will Simpson College be able to end things here and now in a 3-0 sweep, or will Cornell stay alive as they look for just one more goal? We are underway here in OT.
Thing that I need is sure confirmation. Either one of these teams need to maintain possession of the ball. In fact, I think if one person is able to win a couple of 50s, that could go a long way. Create the odd rush and confirm the final goal. I've noticed a trend, though, for Simpson College. It seems like they're throwing themselves more and more at the challenge. They're playing the Cornell College pace, and that favors Flux and the Rams, if you ask me. It's giving them the opportunity to put this one home high and to the side.
I'm really surprised there weren't anyone from Simpson College jumping for that, because don't get me wrong, it was the right call because it didn't go in, but that's too close for comfort to me. If it even comes anywhere near close to net, I got to go for a touch. I mean, that one is looking a little dangerous. Cornell College, they're pushing in closer and closer to the net of Simpson.
Oh, no boost, and that was a chance to hammer one home. Instead, it's back the other way. Still a no boost situation for Jay Crusher King. This is a lofted touch. It's going to be reset down towards the middle. Are they able to get the second touch? No. Great backcourt defense as Simpson College are able to get through two. This is going to center, and it just seems like a game of pinball at this point, Cap. Neither team willing to slow down, neither willing to make the extra commit, but they don't need it with a touch like that from Flux.
And once again, it's coming out of the corner there, and you saw the cheeky push there. What it looked like T-Girl Sunshine managed to come through and really clear the way, stir up the defense, get them out of position, and then Flux rains down with the final goal. And now we have a pulse, we have a sign of life. Cornell College comes alive in Game 3.
It's very dangerous if you are Simpson College, because you saw it transform from what was a team effort, maintaining the possession forward and upward, into the Barkey show, which, don't get me wrong, Barkey's extremely good at the game, but you need that team effort. You need to be maintaining presence on the ball as a group, and it seemed like every time someone else got possession of the ball, whereas in the first two games, they were doing a great job of finding the short passes, keeping the ball in the wheelhouse and maintaining the ability to influence it. The only one doing that in this one was Barkey.
Yeah, I had to tilt the glasses there and take a look just to make sure I wasn't seeing things. Barkey had 6 shots on target, and Simpson College as a collective had 8 shots total. So yeah, I think you're right. I think Simpson College, if they want to secure their win, they got to start sharing the sugar and getting the ball around and not just having Barkey take all the shots.
Thanks for sure. A lot of momentum comes with this game number 4. Oh, in Cornell College, I don't know that they need any more. They look revitalized, Cap, and it has me excited. But Simpson College are not going away or down easily.
And that's really all you need. As soon as you get some goals on the board, you start playing entirely different. You're in a different headspace, as Flux nearly was able to get that 50-50 to go into the back of the net. My goodness, Cornell College applying the pressure early as Daddy Didu will now take control.
Watching as this one skied in through the mid. Crusher King looking to stay on the ball, but unable to do so this time around. Blocks around 1, around 2. Not able to get the back line of defense, but with a shot on like that, they need somebody. They need them now, and a bump will open things up for T-Girl Sunshine.
There we go, and you love to see the 3-player plays going down. I mean, we got to see Flux there stirring up the defense, and then Daddy D2 comes in not only with the pass, but with a bump of their own. Every single player from Cornell College got involved, and that's something that was a little lacking in games 1 and 2, but now has arisen for Cornell College in games 3 and now game 4.
Up from the grave, Cornell College has arose. They look again like a team on a tear. The Storm don't want to die out just yet. They certainly have been quelled for this last about 8 minutes or so. Touch in the box that'll be immediately jumped on. You see the attenuation that just wasn't there for Cornell College before. They are throwing themselves at these challenges. And normally I mean that in a bad way, but in this case, they're winning a lot of 50-50s, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't win the 50-50, at least you know you're breaking up whatever intention Simpson College had at a play. So even if the 50-50s aren't falling in your favor, at least they're not going as intended for Simpson College's offense. So again, no love lost there. Is this 50? If I saw this correctly, just went straight into the net, bar down, and it wasn't a 50. Flux managed to get there a split second before Barkey.
Yes, and now Cornell College looking even stronger as the momentum train is now 4 straight goals, unanswered points. Simpson College is starting to seem like they are in less of a storm, more of a drought. They break through that desert that has been the last game and a half.
Now just over 2 minutes to go. Out into the corner of Simpson College. Barkey trying to take control. They get 50'd out by Flux, who wins not one but two 50-50s. Not able to find the mid, but look at the pass from Didu. Nearly being able to get that one on target, but now the counterattack from Barkey is on target, but the save comes through from none other than Daddy Didu.
Right now, Simpson College finally getting that midfield presence. They have their timing down on the rotations. Looking a lot like what we see normally out of Cornell College, where you see someone coming shouting in from the midfield. Hawkeye up early. This one's going to casually roll in, and at the very least, they've broken the ice.
Oh, absolutely. And this was nothing short of a great read and a good play. Again, you got Barkey going for the pre-jump there, but at the end of the day, Hawkeye, you just got to let that one float right on in because it's such a hard read. I mean, honestly, the slow touches are sometimes harder to defend than the quick ones. I mean, it wasn't a laser, it wasn't a banger, it was just a casual float right into the back of the net, and unfortunately for the defender, they can't tell if that will result in another 50-50. So again, it didn't. And it just ended up being a goal. So again, great late game presence coming from Simpson College in order to cut the lead of Cornell in half.
We'll have to get through the great wall of E-Girl Sunshine in the middle of the field, though, in order to get a second shot converted into a goal. Only have a small amount of time to do it. Brilliant save on the goal line by Hawkeye. They still haven't gotten the possession out of their own zone. Flux doesn't have this. Another save. Does this make it all the way? Not quite. About had the reverse angle on that midfield redirect. That would have been disgusting. 1, 2, but no completion.
Yeah, just over 20 seconds to go here. Cornell College trying to hang on to force the game 5 as this one goes off the backboard. The opportunity is there, but the shot was not nowhere to be found there. As now just 10 seconds left to go. Simpson College are going to have to try again. Could be their last effort here as that one goes off the backboard, cleared away. Back towards the mid. Barkey trying to take control. Gets bumped out with no time left. Cornell College answer back to force game 5.
I don't really like the fact that we saw Barkey come in and do the quick rotation at the tail end. I want to see the third person in the rotation come through and make something happen. And Barkey recover a little bit of the boost that is necessary to maintain the play instead of a quick turn like that. Because, you lose so much on it. For Cornell College, heavy momentum. 4-1 over the last 8 minutes between these two teams. So a really good job of turning the beat around. The question is, do they have the percussion to finish it?
I mean, all bets are off at this point. We're going into the next game. Now it's reverse sweep territory. They're on the verge of taking the broomstick out of Simpson College's hands and using it against them. Like, this. I don't know what else to tell you. This is fitting to be a pretty spectacular match. I mean, we've already gotten to see the resurgence, the absolute revival of Cornell, and now they look to steal the win away from Simpson. Well, here we are. Game 5 is already underway.
Hoo-wee! When I saw the scoreline for game number 1 being 5-0, and then the follow-up, lack of scoring whatsoever for Cornell College after the first 2 games, if you would have told me at that time this was going to game 5, you know what? Slap me in the face, because I wouldn't have believed you. But here we are, and I feel like I've been slapped in the face, as do the rest of these Simpson College players. They need have a revitalization of their own. The adjustments are what make champions. Both of these teams looking to make that final adjustment.
Well, let's see what adjustments can be made. We've already seen Cornell adjust quite well and adapt to the offense of Simpson College. Let's see if they can continue their success to pull off the reverse sweep, as this shot from Flux, my goodness, will go on and will go in. Cornell College will draw first blood here in game 5.
Okay, class, bring out the protractors. That one is not something that happens very often. Not only given the initial touch in on the corner, but gets the pre-jump read off of the corner and snipes the angle. 12 degrees? No problem.
Yeah, you don't block those. That one's gonna go in whether you like it or not. Meanwhile, another follow-up touch coming from Flux. Had the makings of a potential play, but gets broken up by Simpson College. Flux back at the midfield, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Able to get this one out and towards the corner. T-Girl Sunshine, 50s out. Back to the mid. Barkey with an opportunity here. Not a lot of boost to follow it up. And a very risky back pass, but it pays off.
Speed being maintained by Cornell College, especially in through the midfield. And Flux, oh, so good! And touches like that, make it a twofer! Another one, sharp angle!
I mean, I don't know what this is evident of, if not that Cornell is just a second half team. I mean, not even necessarily per game. I mean, in the series. Like, they go down 2-0, and you know what? We really didn't see much from Flux. And now all of a sudden in game 5, it's literally the Flux show. They're popping off right now. 2 back-to-back goals in game 5. When you need them the most, they didn't vanish. They showed up.
Now, do Simpson College have an answer? They're going to need one. And Flux, on the threat of a ball on the goal line, quickly ushers it away. You've got to be kidding me. Flux, you can't do that again!
I was expecting the bump, honestly. I thought they were about to bump the defender, and that one will fall. But right at 2 minutes and 30, we are at halftime. Simpson College now have an opportunity to score as they are putting the pressure back onto Cornell. As you can see, J.K. Rusher King tries to get this one to go. It falls down to Hawkeye. Hawkeye has been the main striker for Simpson. And in the last 2 games, they've been a little bit quiet. But at the same time, Simpson College can't put all their eggs in the Hawkeye basket. Everybody from Simpson has got to start participating.
I do agree, it needs to be a team effort, and it can't just be Hawkeye and or Barkey. It needs to be a ball down. Barkey does come across to sweep it away at the very last moment. There is still plenty of time on the clock, but for Simpson College, the chances are what is waning.
And with every tick of the clock, it wanes even further. The recovery from Cornell, superb. Able to get back in time in order to get the save and clear it away. And my goodness, you can cut the tension with a knife. 1 minute and 30 left to go. Simpson College on the verge of getting their first. Digging into the lead of Cornell as that one gets cleared out high. Back to the mid, and T-Girl Sunshine will break it up.
And at this point, they need something, and instead, they're going to be even further in the hole.
I mean, what do you do at this point? You're going up against not only a wave, but a tsunami of momentum coming from Cornell College that literally turned things around on a dime in the middle of the series. And now they have a 3-0 lead with 1:12 left on the clock as a kickoff goal could get this to start, and it will. Not much doing for Cornell on that play. J.K. Rusher King came in with a rush of a play.
The road to glory is 67 seconds for Simpson College. If you want to pull off this victory, if you want the annals of the spreadsheet or Rocket League MEC history to show that you got the win in this match, you need to show up now. They've broken the ice yet again. Now Simpson College need to press the gas and not let it go. The defense of Cornell College have been equal to the task. A large portion of the time, the rotation working as a team has just been good. Straightforward. Now Simpson College working together. Markey around one, but it's an easy routine save by Titito.
I mean, maybe routine for them, but for me, not so routine. That one was clutch. That still, to me, was a good save. I mean, that was clutch. I mean, honestly, with the amount of time we got left, 20 seconds left to go, you cannot afford to give them a one-goal deficit. You give them one goal, and they will take two. Best believe it. As now you can see Cornell, even late in the game, are continuing to apply the pressure on the offense. Seconds ticking away as the light begins to fade from Simpson College, and Cornell pull it off. The reverse sweep has been done. Cornell College will come back to steal the game away and will take the win in 5.
Reverse sweep me, please. This was brilliantly showcased by Cornell College. I went into this match thinking that this was going to be a close one. I underestimated just how fast you were going to see a come out of the gate by Simpson College, but Cornell College, like, you want to talk about a fortitude check. I'm looking forward to the interview that we have just to see who they want to accredit that one to. Was it a coach in the room? Was it somebody who just who had the ice? Who brought the ice in from their local convenience store?
I mean, I don't know. All I know is that I'm glad that they brought it, only because I felt bad, because in the beginning, I felt bad because I was hyping up Cornell so much because they had a spectacular performance at the Spring Clash, and then they fall short in 2 games. I'm like, well, the Captain Caster's curse has reared its ugly head again. But no, Cornell, they showed up like they did in the Spring Clash, and they managed to take the game back, which goes to show that when you're looking at these series, you can't take it too early. I mean, it was 2-0. There's still plenty of time in the series. You got to look at it through a grand scope. And speaking of the grand scope of the series, I want to talk about the scope of esports. There's a lot that goes into running an esports event like the MEC Clash or the MEC Championship. One of the most important aspects is setting the scope of your event, like setting your goals and balancing your profit with your expectations. If you want to learn more about the scope of an esports event, type !top 5 in the chat and check out our article, What It Takes, Top 5 Things Powering Esports Events. But with that being said, we are getting ready to head to a quick short break, but when we come back, we should have an interview for you lined up and ready to go right here at the Midwest Esports Conference.
Well, it was a fine match number 2, and we have arguably the star of match number 2 with Skendo Slice, joined by Captain Netsoka, and Cornell College's Flux. Flux, I mean, how good does the montage look now?
I'm working on it. Got a few clips in, so that was solid.
Yeah,
There were a few attempts there that I sullied a little bit, but we're working on adding to the Taj throughout this.
All right, I'm just going to start things off, Flux, with, rehashing the Spring Clash, because, again, y'all ended up being somewhat of the people's champ, because you had so many people rooting for you, when y'all were going into the lower semis, and you end up taking ONU, and then people are realizing, holy smokes, Cornell can go toe-to-toe with the best of the teams, and then you come out and you show it here again tonight. What is your expectations going forward? Do you only continue to aim higher and higher?
I mean, that's always the goal, aim higher and higher. We got a great support network. We got a great coach base. Cornell has been really great with helping us all with the esports program. And honestly, a lot of these games have just been our mentality, keeping our confidence up, being aware of our abilities as players, and communicating with each other as effectively as possible. That's what leads to a lot of these wins. That's what led to our performance at LAN. We came into day 2 and we're like, all right, let's keep the comms going. Let's get that energy up. And, that confidence really shows in the game. So.
Yeah, I got to tell you, especially your gameplay. I mean, calm down. I mean, my goodness, those are people on the other end of those controllers. Have some compassion, because I got to tell you, I mean, what was going through your mind when, you're looking down the barrel of a 2-0 sweep, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you guys, including yourself, just decide to ult. What was going through your mind when you were going into game 3?
All right, so going into at the end of game 2, we were a little bit quiet. At the end of game 2, comms were getting kind of quiet and a little bit snappish, and we're like, okay. I took them aside and I'm like, take a second, breathe. You are playing fine. Be confident in yourself and just communicate to each other. And then that really turned it around. And then it just went up and up from there. A little shaky here and there, but I was really proud with the performance we were able to bring back and showcase. So.
It started with fundamentals and getting a groundwork, and then you all were able to build on that, maintaining that pressure from game 2 into games 3 through 5, and able to finish things off. I'm going to have a serious question instead of an opportunity to shout things out. Week number 1, day number 1. It was Illinois College against y'all, and you had a downfall.
Yeah.
3-1. We're looking back on that because we're getting closer and closer to the end of league play. Do you feel, now that you're on even terms with Illinois College again, both teams 2 and 3, that you can overcome that tiebreaker and take the 4th position in the standings going into playoffs?
I have no doubt at all. Full confidence in my team. Illinois College is a great team. We love playing against them at LAN. I think this will be our 6th series against them or something like that. But we're really excited to take it to them. So, yeah.
I'm definitely excited to hear your excitement. And you know what? Just for the answer there, give us a couple shout outs. Anybody you want to celebrate in this moment, then we'll send you off.
Got to give it to Maddie and Simon, my teammates, Daddy Didu and T-Girl Sunshine. Always great. Coach Base. Head of the esports department, Jack, and then my girlfriend Ina. She's pretty awesome. So yeah.
Hey, you know what? You want to? I would talk about staying grounded. You gotta love the others in our lives. Let me tell you. So, love what we got to see from you, Flux. Congratulations on a huge win, and good luck with those last couple games.
Thank you.
Cap, I gotta tell you.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I love the interviews, because the only thing that's running through my mind right now is the type of hell I would be going through if I described my wife as pretty awesome. See the room I'm in? This is where I would have to live for the remainder of my life had I described my wife in such a way. But again, that's a different story. But yeah, I love the interviews. I love getting to know the players behind the sticks.
I definitely appreciate Flux as well as Cornell College. I really feel, I don't know if they are going to be the 4th seed going into the playoffs, but I do feel like this is a team that will compete extremely well to put themselves in the top 4 and in that quarter, that semifinal scenario come playoff time. So I'm excited for what things are cooking at Cornell College. Definitely sad to see how Simpson went down after a brilliant start, but at the very least, they were pretty awesome. We will be right back. It's one more match on the night. Ashland University, Cleveland State University. We're going to go make doghouses for our green screens behind us. That way we can live it up in the last game.
We're here at the MEC Fall Championship. It's Kendo Slice alongside Lime, a player for the Cleveland State University Valorant squad. And the question of the day, it has been, what does esports mean to you?
Esports it's probably, let's break it down differently. Valorant in general means a lot to me.
Yeah.
During the COVID shutdown, Valorant released. It frankly changed my life, Like I was just like some low-time Overwatch player, not playing very well in Overwatch. Came to Valorant, I was really bad. Probably the worst I've ever been in any game. Started grinding and we got good, and now I'm here playing on a college team, and it means a lot to me,
I really appreciate the reframe. Just taking a step back. Hey, let's scope this.
Yeah.
I want you to understand. It's changed my life. Thank you. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that. So, is there, being that we're talking about collegiate esports, maybe something that you've learned over the last 3 months, this semester, maybe about yourself, maybe about team, maybe in game?
Just keeping my ego in check, That's always been an issue. Well, I'm probably, keeping my ego in check, for sure.
Okay, I didn't
I'm a very
ask.
confident player.
I don't often ask for people to elaborate, but do you mind elaborating a little bit on
early
that?
in the season, we were definitely stomping a good amount, or more like I was stomping, and since my ego was out of control a bit, team was lacking behind, so I decided to take a step back, relax, and just focus on my team instead of myself.
I love that. It's a very unusual answer, which I asked for the elaboration just due to that.
Yeah.
Because the attitude of one person changes the attitude of the team a lot of the time.
Truly.
Not saying that the ego can be a bad thing or is a bad thing or a good thing. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's good to an extent, To have an ego, you want to have an ego over the enemy team, so then you can have full confidence. But if it affects your team, then it's an issue.
Yeah, and being able to see how that works in the team scope. I thank you. That answer, beautiful. LAN environment. We're getting a taste of the LAN environment right now. People yelling at microphones. You got crazy crowds at times. You have the pit.
Yeah.
There are people all over. There's more consoles than there are sometimes seats to fill.
Truly.
So, how's the LAN environment felt for you? Do you enjoy stuff like this?
I love LAN, yeah. I just love screaming and getting loud. I really enjoy talking. So this interview process in general has just been amazing. This LAN in general has been amazing. I love screaming at people. I love just seeing my team have fun, and I love having fun with my team, simply put.
So do you have a favorite esports moment from this semester that you'd like to share? Like maybe a clippable offense? I don't know.
Every time I try to get an ace for my team, I have multiple players on my team stopping me from getting an ace every single time. And today it happened once. On the last round of the first map against Cornell, I was almost getting an ace, and my team said, don't let him get it. And I simply did not get the ace. But, I'm pretty sure it's happened once every game a season. It's pretty bad. It's like an addiction for them. There's a lot of clips you could pull out of there.
Do you feel like you've grown there as well? It gets you to the point where it's
definitely humbled me a little bit, no doubt.
Humbled you a little bit, but at the same time, you get hungry for that ace.
Yeah, I truly do. I really do. As soon as I get the first kill, I'm like, okay, I could definitely get an ace here, no doubt.
I like that. That's a little backward thinking, but I tell you what, it's good stuff once you actually really delve into the psychology of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Last question for you, Live.
And we are back. One more to... She was listening.
Yeah, I'm now in the doghouse.
Oh boy, Kendo Slice alongside Captain Soka, Midwest Esports Conference. It is the tale of two records going into match number 3 on this night. Cleveland State University no longer have the opportunity to get that vaunted first seed due to the fact that Ohio Northern have finished their regular season plus 13 and as far as their game differential goes. So that's pretty significant. In fact, Ohio Northern, I think, sealed up that first seed. It might have killed any potential for changing up the seeding, but Cleveland State still have an opportunity to take second seed. They are going to want to see those wishes through against an Ashland University squad that is 0-4 so far, still looking for their first win of the season. They do have 3 game wins, though, and they have come up against pretty tough competition.
Yep, that they have. But you know what? We actually got to see a lot of Cleveland State during the spring clash. They managed to actually win it all. And, you know, when we were interviewing Cipricate and, you know, Carson and Sways, and, you know, we really got to talk to them and, you know, how they really separated themselves from the rest, is they said that they wanted it more than anybody else there at the spring clash. And if they can continue to have that type of mindset, I think they have the potential to take it all, because they came through not even the favorites to win. And yet they came through and managed to take out ONU, take out Miami, and take out, you know, every other big team. And as a matter of fact, they went through the second day of Spring Clash undefeated. So they have the makings not only to take the number 2 spot, but eventually to take the whole thing. So keep your eye out for CSU, because they have the right mentality going in.
Yes, and they're going to need that mentality. This matchup specifically definitely could be a tough one for Ashland University, but as I mentioned before, Ashland University have shown us something against teams that we didn't necessarily think that they could get a win off of. They have been able to mount good offenses. Have they been able to mount an offense that lasts 3 straight games and gets them a series win? No, not yet. And key word, in my opinion, on this all is yet. I think it's a matter of time before Ashland University get that first win. I don't know that it's going to be against Cleveland State.
And again, that's going to be tough because you're going up against the defending champs of the Spring Clash. Again, this is one of the teams that we have our eye on going into the playoffs. And you know what? They were not far off from the number 1 spot either. Of course, that number 1 spot is going to go to ONU, and they could potentially take the number 2 spot over Miami. But again, this is a team that is gunning for the top spot, and they have been able to prove themselves. So yeah, Ashland, they're going to have a tall task as we get game number 1 underway. 5 minutes now ticking down.
What I'm going to be looking for is, what are Cleveland State able to do? Do they come out of the gates swinging? And then if they do they manage to keep that going? Ashland University have done a great job of getting off the starting blocks in multiple series so far. If I remember correctly, they've taken a game off of Miami. Was extremely impressive earlier on in the season.
Well, 30 seconds gone, and it looks like Ashland is gonna be the team to score first as they get that one to go, getting their first goal on the board just with 33 seconds gone.
Excuse me, I did misquote myself there. It was Simpson College, and they took a couple games off of Cornell College as well. But they have shown us a few good things. I think I'm thinking back to that Miami University match on day 2. That was game number 1 looked very interesting. They were able to show themselves fairly strong, and early start quickly answered by Cleveland State.
Yeah, I mean, Ashland University scored first, and then Cleveland State took that personally. They couldn't let that stand. They had to answer back, and they had to answer back very quickly off the kickoff. And again, a great pass coming from Sip to Carson, and look at Carson now doing some more aerial acrobatics, nearly being able to chip that one in off the crossbar. But again, you know, as a friend of mine, Bepic would say, the crossbar MVP, most valuable post.
Yes, the most valuable post is extremely strong at times. And Ashland University, I'm liking the way that they're breaking out of blocks. They want to make sure that they keep the pressure on, but you can't allow the ball to get loose in the side.
Yeah, and I mean, right now it's just about the midfield control, and that midfield was under the control of Cleveland State. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they were there at the line. They didn't bother trying to hover around the net. They didn't even go for the bumps. They didn't go for demos. You know, they were just concerned with the midline and having that boost control, and they were able to use that to get the goal. Now they enjoy that 1-goal lead.
Cleveland State looking to cook. The ball dropped towards the goal line. They've managed to dangle it on the goal line in the box a couple times. Won't get the conversion this time around. And if anything, that I think of basketball. And there are times in basketball where you have two teams that completely different division. You know, you have a power conference team going up against a team. They bring say, for instance, we'll go with my locality, Kansas. They'll bring in smaller university as a, I don't know, Southern Louisiana.
Why you got to throw me in there? What I do to you?
I would say if you're Cleveland State, you're looking here for the fundamentals. You want to make sure that you're performing well because you're expected to win this match. But mistakes are going to be magnified, especially when it comes film review time. And Ashland University are able to get a couple more goals on the board. Oh boy, it'll be an interesting discussion.
I mean, it definitely is. And you know what? To salvage my own pride here, I happen to live next door in high school to someone who now plays for the New York Knicks. So granted that, you know, we don't have the best pro team in the world, but, you know, our students go on to fill out your rosters, all right? So give us a little bit of a break.
Caster Bedlam. We are only halfway through game number 1, and it is absolute chaos in the Ashland University defensive zone. Bumps, demo attempts, backboard bounces, immediate challenges in Cleveland State. Oh my.
I'm not gonna lie, I was so infatuated with the basketball analogies that I looked down while it was, you know, 3-1, and I look up and it's 5-1. You know, I didn't even realize how quickly things have escalated here right after regulation, as we are in the second half of game number 1, and Cleveland State are just on an absolute tear with a 4-goal lead, sitting comfortably here, and they are still on the attack. Ashland University trying to hold on, and finally will break out of their own side.
Oh, and Silent Wolf going to get a little help on the back end of this one, but again, this is what I'm looking for. Find a pass, work together, make things happen. In Ashland University, they break in. I will say, Cap, it's okay to get lost in the hot sauce every now and then, especially if it is barrel aged.
And I got to tell you, this is why it's important to put shots on target, even if you don't think it's going to go in, because at the end of the day, you'd be surprised what ends up in the back of the net. So that's why the shot count is actually so vital when we're breaking down stats and we're talking about analytics, because not only does it, you know, kind of infer of what the possession looks like in game, but, you know, anytime you're not taking a shot, it's just a wasted opportunity, because every shot has a potential to go in. Just like that one. Sip able to follow it up off the pass from Carson.
Love the vision here by Sways. Not quite a back pass, but literally a 90-degree off of the side wall to find a friend. And you can phone that one in all day. Cleveland State still looking extremely strong, but Ashland University have a chance to flex their muscles as well, especially loose touches like that. Silent Wolf will jump on the initial. Keep looking to working together, and Silent Wolf gets around 2. Oh, bumped off though. Need to give that flick on earlier.
And you can see Ashland University really starting to build up the pressure here, trying to find another goal. But the question is it too little too late? Only 1 minute remaining. Cleveland State still enjoying the comforts of a 4-goal lead as they continue to look pretty dominant here in game number 1. Ashland University still on the attack, trying to get a goal to go, but they just can't seem to find the back of the net. Spoke too soon, but at the same time, I feel like that was CSU that found the back of the net. I mean, it was still a great presence, but I mean, that ball had an orange trail on it.
Yeah, but that is the type of pressure that you're going to need if you're Ashland University in order to put pressure on a Cleveland State. You think about these two universities just about hour 15 minutes away from each other. It's just a quick drive up Highway 71, all the difference between the two. And Ashland University, they don't want to go down. They understand that they are the underdog in this, and they're going to have to keep that mentality, especially in the midfield. But 3 goals against Cleveland State, looking mighty fine. They can prevent some of the goals that have been on net by SIP. They're going to go a long way in game number 2.
Yep, and this just goes to show is that you don't stop playing until the clock hits 0 and the ball touches the ground, because even with 11 seconds and a 3-goal lead, Cleveland State's still hungry for more as they find another goal here. And I think it's pretty safe to say that Cleveland State, CSU, they're going to be taking game number 1 here. And again, we have seen miracles happen, but I don't think it's going to happen today, at least not right now. Final few seconds now ticking off the clock. CSU will confirm to take game number 1 in this best-of-5 series.
I'm sitting here writing down my notes. Every time I think that, oh yeah, I got a final score. Nope, they're going to continue to score. Both of these teams desperately trying to find ways to beat each other. For Ashland, I like the attenuation. I need them to continue to maintain that forward pressure. They got 3 goals out of it. They got 6 shots out of it. I think they can continue that. They need a little help on the back end, but all in all, this was a really good first showing. Now, the chance to adjust, maintain that sort of pressure, and keep things moving forward.
Absolutely. And one thing that you need to adjust is taking possession of the ball. And when I say taking possession of the ball, that doesn't mean an interception. Possession means that you're controlling the pace of the ball. You're controlling the pace of play. It doesn't mean just taking the ball away from the opposition. Just in that last game, we saw 15 shots come from CSU. And that is just a little bit too one-sided. I mean, granted that we saw, I want to say, maybe 8 shots coming from Ashland University, but the spread there, the difference is just too wide. You have got to start taking possession and controlling the ball, not just taking it away from Ashland or taking it away from CSU. It's now you got to start to operate with it. You got to start doing things with the ball instead of just booming it to the other side of the pitch.
That being said, booming it to the other side of the pitch, if it has results, you know, not a bad thing. Get a deep gasp every now and then. That being said, we discussed this earlier, and one of the best things to do in any match, try to mix up, give variety. It's the spice of life, my friend, and you want to be trying all sorts of different offensive look. You can't become stagnant. Thus far, I wouldn't say Ashland University are stagnant, but the one thing that has been working, full send, reciprocate, able to keep that one to the side. I thought for a second there we were going to have a first goal celebration.
Yep, nearly there, but not quite. Slippy, unfortunately, just couldn't get that one to go, and it would have been a great shot too. But I like the way how Ashland is starting out with the offense early as they go for another one off the backboard, nearly being able to get it to go, but goes down and by the wayside. CSU now working from their own net, has to get this one out past one defender, looking to get past the midfield line as they do, and now CSU get to play a little offense.
Mid-air bump's going to open things up for Ashland University if they can maintain control on the ball. And Slippy coming through, decides not to challenge and puts themselves in no man's land. Challenge the ball in that spot. I was hopeful, but the non-challenge becomes an issue.
And you know what? I'd hate to point anybody out, but Slippy was there. And you know what they did? Yeah. Instead of trying to go and jump for the ball, they turned around. They tried to go and play recovery. Well, I hate to break it to you, but when you're the first player up, it's not your job to play recovery. That's why you have a 2-player and a 3-player there to play recovery. You have got to get in the face of the opposition, and now Slippy gets in the face of CSU to get the first goal on the board for Ashland U.
Yeah, a little bit of a panic moment for Sways, and leave it to Slippy, though. Completely makes up for any efficiency that may have come in the first goal. So,
agreed.
We take the criticism and we throw it right back. Really good stuff here by Ashland University as they tie things up yet again. We're getting closer to halftime, and the fact that this is a tie game, we're already seeing dividends for Ashland University. All just going to take a casual stroll. Cipricate. Let them have it.
Oh, yeah. Cipricate just going to take a sip off the crossbar right here. I mean, take a look at this. Beautiful follow-up, good read, and some aerial acrobatics to boot. I mean, why not? Cipricate just had that ball read from start to finish and was able to follow it up with a nice touch. Now, CSU have a 2-1 lead right before halftime.
Now Cleveland State looking to pour it on. They've already broken the ice. It was this time last game that they were looking to add to a dynamic lead. This time around, not so much. Cipricate, though, no stranger to aerial displays. Has plenty of boost. This can be over a lot, but not past the defense. Dangerous ball. Dropped right in the middle. Neutral play. Lippy can't get over one, and Ashland University, there's a chance it's going to be played on. It's going to be dropping in the box, but third player in, no, not there.
And what a shot and what a play coming from Ashland. I mean, the play was there. The follow-up looked good. It all looked good, honestly, but I got to say that the defense from CSU really stepped up there to keep Ashland out as, you know, Ashland, as the time continues to go further and further towards zero, Ashland is only getting better and better. I mean, they're getting closer and closer with every play.
That they are, and they've been able to maintain a little bit of pressure in the offensive zone. Although that'll be quickly lost. Cipricate catch on the sidewall. High elevation plays. Cleveland State, no strangers to them. That is a weak touch, though. Both members of the defense are back in time, and Cipricate going for another one. You can tell they're looking for a clip. This will be ball down. It's still dangerous in the box. Do they have what it takes? One extra touch, and it's Cipricate, the striker for Cleveland State.
Yeah, that they are, but also got to give it to Sways. Again, Sways was able to get the touch down, which was able to get Cipricate the read, but I got to tell you, that angle, my goodness, that was a tough angle. Don't get me wrong, the pass was good, but the shot, that was a tough one to pull off. Regardless, it is going to be a 2-goal lead in the favor of CSU with just over 45 seconds remaining.
The Vikings at the end of that one playing who has the axe, and it has been Cipricate for a majority of this match. And equal to the task has been Sways. The entire Cleveland State team getting involved in the offense, and Ashland University down by 2, just under 30 seconds to go. They're going to want something. They're going to want it now. They need possession of the ball in order to achieve that.
Yep, and good luck taking it away from Cipricate as they round the corner here to take control, slowing down the ball, goes for the flick, and will go the other way, but with only 2 seconds remaining, finding 2 goals, I don't think it's going to happen as that ball will hit the dirt and CSU will take game 2.
And as the writing down here, it definitely is a fairly dynamic line, shots for shots, against these two teams. That being said, for the amount of pressure that we've seen on, Ashland has done a great job of maintaining themselves in shots. 6 shots in the first game, 5 shots in the second game. This time around, the shots equated to being able to potentially beat Cleveland State, as there was only 3 conversions. Previous one, not so much. I need no hesitance, Cap, in the challenges from Ashland. Like I think back to that no man's land play from Slippy, where they could have gone for it. They should have gone for it, and they decided to shadow at the last second. Plays like that, if you make them, end up being what win you games.
Yeah, I can't help but to agree full-heartedly. And you know what? I'm pretty sure Slippy knows that too. I mean, you got to give them credit. You know, they are a tremendous player. They know when they've made a mistake. And you know what? I think they're going to learn from it moving forward. As we are here now in game number 3. And it looks like Ashland from Gabe is going to strike first as they get a much-needed go-ahead goal to start things off in game 3.
Let's go, Gabe. Gabe has been the kind of the silent member of Ashland University. We haven't said too much about them so far, but making their presence known at a very important time. You don't want to go down, and a good step in the right direction, getting the first goal on. The Eagles will fly. Here comes Cleveland State, though. All in the corner. Silent Wolf is equal to a lot of those backboard plays, but at Cleveland State, you'll notice in their own zone, they're really liking finding each other with passes from the middle to the wall, back to the middle.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, I feel like this is the longest, at least it's felt, that CSU have been without a goal. I mean, we're past the 1 minute mark, and right now Ashland University are holding CSU 1-0. And they are continuing to apply the pressure. As you see CSU having to operate from their own half, able to get the redirect all the way downfield. As now a follow-up shot is on target, and it will go in off the dunk from Sways.
Wowza. The quick 1-2. And Ashland for the defense. I definitely... We've heard of the double commit. That ended up being the double non-commit.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to literally LOL.
Well, I apologize. Guffaw. But on the right side, they have a chance to change that, and they are still even Stevens. But I need, again, them to get out on the ball. It is all about, if you want to punch up to that level, punching up. If you're just trying to block Mike Tyson, eventually he's going to break your guard.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, I got to give it to you. That was pretty punny. That joke, the double non-commit, love it. I might have to steal that in a future game, future series. But in the meantime, we're still tied 1-1 here in game 3. Keep in mind, it is match point for CSU. If they win here, then they will take the 3-0 sweep. And what a huge demo! And yet somehow, someway, CSU keep the ball out as Slippy tries again.
I was seeing stars, and the star of that show was Slippy. Almost. Do they get the slow play down? And there was no pun intended, my friend. Happened to be a guffawful event. Here comes Ashland University, though. They are looking pretty stinking good with 2 minutes left. Cleveland State are having a problem solving the Rubik's Cube that is their midfield presence.
Yeah, and again, you know, from compared to games 1 and 2, it's really surprising to see CSU at only 1 goal. You know, this is a very offensive-heavy team. They're a very aggressive team. Even on the defense, they are aggressive to a fault, to where sometimes they push a little bit too far forward and leave their net exposed. So to see them just kind of halted like that just speaks volumes to the amount to which Ashland University has changed their play style from games 1 and 2 now into game 3.
Love to see adjustments being made at this level, and I guarantee Ashland University would love to take a game off of Cleveland State. Heck, they'd like to make their first series win of the season a Cleveland State victory. Problem? They gave up the ball, and it is dangerous in the box. We'll be able to get the completion, though. Our Cleveland State, they're continuing to work the corner, and it does seem to have Ashland a little bit mixed up in the game, and every time it seems like Cipricate's there to finish.
Of course it is. I mean, if you had seen the Spring Clash, you would know that Cipricate was the highlight reel. I mean, that was a surefire sniper shot. You literally lined it up as narrowly as you could, and got it to go in off the sidebar by a mere pixel. It doesn't get much closer than that. That was just pitch perfect shot placement.
Definitely bolstering the accuracy stat is Cipricate. Plays like that, they give up a ball, and Slippy is going to tie things up. We're Deuces Wild again.
I mean, easy come, easy go. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we have the lead in CSU's favor, and now all of a sudden, we're back even with 37 seconds left on the board. Ashland University now starting to come alive late in the series and could potentially steal this win away. But Cipricate, once again, will take possession here at the midfield. 30 seconds remaining now before we hit OT.
Like, we don't want to talk about what potentially could come in 20 seconds from now. That being said, oh my goodness ways.
No shot. If this was me, no, it was. But I'm saying if this had been me who shot this, that doesn't go in. I'm telling you, I have hit that exact spot on the sidebar before, and it did not go in. I mean, how do you play the bar like this? They're literally living and dying by the crossbar. You know, and you love to see it. It's the MVP, most valuable post. And, you know, much like a very cruel third player, it can, or fourth player in this scenario, the crossbar can bless you in the evening and curse you in the afternoon. And with 0 seconds, Silent Wolf gets the equalizer to send us into overtime.
1, 2, 3. It is Silent Wolf, benefactor of the give and go from Geeb. We have overtime at Ashland University. Don't celebrate yet. You need one more to glory and a chance to turn everything around. Cleveland State going to look to keep the gas. Cipricate. Double tap does not convert this time around, but they're at least able to maintain pressure. It's a quick gas out. Silent Wolf won't give the ball the silent treatment. In with a shout, but out with a clear. The Vikings look to mount to the attack.
I mean, my goodness, this is a night and day difference for Ashland University. They have really showed themselves here in Game 3. And we have already seen one reverse sweep happen today. It can potentially happen again, as Ashland University are only 1 goal away from keeping themselves alive in this series, and then Cleveland State only 1 goal away from getting the sweep.
No one on the back end of that rotation. Cipricate, the backflip ends up saving the day. And Ashland keeping the pressure on. That is necessary. Punching the ball towards the net are Cleveland State. Cipricate has the ball from the corner and through. This is going to be set up. It is Sway's early shot on will be just high. And they continue the overtime rotation. Big demo. Goal line play. Cipricate balancing the ball on a string.
Wow, I didn't think they were going to cut to my draw. I know,
we're aghast over here with that one.
Like, my goodness, did y'all see what just happened? Cipricate, first of all, stole the ball away, then went for the Doomsy, and then was able to get the bump on his own Doomsy dish, and then I'm thinking they're going to leave it for their teammate, but Cipricate's like, no, I'm just going to take it myself. And then they bicycle kick the ball back into the net. That was disgusting. I mean, not literally. It was an amazing play. It was beautiful, but I just felt like it was so disrespectful. I mean, like, they literally went through every player on the defense and then finished their own shot off of the bump. Cipricate is simply them. Cipricate is just I mean, it's hard to say, but they are the MVP. I'm sorry, they gotta be.
Our friend Bass from the past would do a little bit of that's disgusting, but yeah, that was essentially what we got with the finish there. Credit though to Ashland University, they put themselves in a good confine, got themselves overtime, and I really think the Eagles are going to continue to cook as far as what the improvement can be for Ashland University. do see a team that is developing right before our eyes, Cap, and that's pretty stinking impressive.
Yeah, especially the fact that they were able to, improve in the middle of a series. Normally, it takes time. It takes days to go over the replays, make the corrections, because breaking a habit or even making corrections to your gameplay is not easy to do. So the fact that they were able to really make those corrections in real time in the same series, to me, speaks volumes to their talent as players. And they definitely have what it takes. We've seen them take games off of top teams before. And again, what they have to work on is consistency. If they work onto the consistency, all of a sudden they're in the conversation for being a top tier team. But for the meantime, this one goes to CSU, and my goodness, did they put on a show. I mean, CSU once again come out with the 3-0 sweep. They played phenomenal from start to finish. Everybody got involved in the play, and then I'm pretty sure everyone got on the highlight reel as well. Everybody had a phenomenal shot at some point in the series. CSU on another level here in the MEC.
Everybody eats. Sometimes needs to be the motto for certain things, but we want to talk really quick about events that are coming up, and we do have a Smash event coming up for the Midwest Esports Invitational, folks. February 24th and 25th in the Chicago area. You have a chance to join us for 2 days of fun and competition. It's featuring doubles, singles on Saturday, and Swiss on Sunday. You want to scan the QR code. They might bring it back for us if I ask nicely, so please give them a second. But if you are illiterate with QR codes, start.gg/MEI. So the abbreviation for Midwest Esports Invitational will get you there. Your registration gets you access to the entire venue. Keep in mind, there's a $1,000 prize pool for each tournament. So this one is one, if you're in the area, you'll want to make sure that you go to. Ability to watch if you are not into playing Smash, some of the highest level in the Midwest that we have to offer. The Smash Collegiate Crew is going to be out there. So we will see you, hopefully, at the Midwest Esports Invitational going on this weekend. Folks, we're going to go to a quick break. We do have one last interview before we close out the night, and one more day of league play that we'll probably preview just a little bit of around the break. One more interview on the docket, and is going to be the Cleveland State University's Sippercate. Skendo Slice alongside Captain Epsoka. And Sippercate! I mean, the season's almost done and dusted. How do you feel about the performance that you've seen from your team so far?
I'm nothing but proud of these guys. We came from a long journey, going through roster changes and everything, and being able to adapt so fast. It's nothing but respect to all my teammates. We're doing really well. We're still trying to climb and get better. There's a lot of fixes that we need to make. So hopefully by playoffs come, we'll be in good and in a good position to win everything.
Yeah, and I really got to talk to you about the Spring Clash because, again, you guys came out on top. You really outperformed yourselves and pushed past your limits to take home the win there. And it feels like you're bringing that type of mentality into the MEC back towards the regular season and then into playoffs. So, I got to ask you, during the interview during the Spring Clash, your team said that nobody wants it more than you. Do you still feel that way going into the playoffs?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, do teams probably want it more than what they did after LAN? Maybe. You had Miami coming in as #1 seed. They're probably very confident. You had ONU coming in as the #2 seed as well. So they probably thought they would probably be top 2 ending off on the LAN. So maybe they have, more to play for, try to, point. But still, regardless, after all of that, I still think we still want it more than everybody, just by performing that we are. Nothing can stop us. Regardless if we're down 2-0 or whatever, and we're still not out of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and currently right now, even after the Spring Clash win for your team, and particularly, your performance as well was spectacular as it was tonight, I got to ask, ONU currently the #1 seed, and pretty sure CSU is shaping up to be the #2 seed. Who do you think right now in the MEC is your biggest threat, and how are you going to meet the challenge?
I would say ONU and Miami are very equal. We always had tough games with them, but regardless, it doesn't matter. I don't care about the numbers, #1, #2, #3, because at the end of the day, when we're at our top form, we can beat anybody. So you put us at any seed, we're going to have to play them regardless to win everything. So it doesn't matter if we play in the semifinals or in the finals. Give us whoever, we're going to beat them.
I love the answer there, and you actually pretty much already answered what I wanted to ask in closing, which was whether or not you feel the seeding matters at this point. Things are pretty sealed away as far as who's first seed overall. Any regrets when it comes to not being able to secure the first seed? It looks like y'all still have a chance for second seed, but you'll need a little bit of help.
I mean, unfortunately, our only loss came down to when we had, another player, and it was just a lot of, team chemistry going off. So it just happened in an unfortunate time. We weren't fully prepared and everything, but definitely teams are wiping sweat off their foreheads. The fact that LAN didn't count towards our record, because it would be a whole different story right now. But it is what it is. Again, seeding doesn't matter. We're just going to play our game each round, and we're gonna make things happen. It really doesn't matter where we're at.
I love the confidence, and it's one of the things that's really shown itself strong for Cleveland State University. Thank you, Cipricate, for the interview, and congratulations on another solid win.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, Cap, at this point, seedings don't matter, and I would tend to agree. Once it's playoff time, it is put up or shut up time, but I'm excited about what's going down next week, because you're going to have that Cleveland State University squad going up against Cornell College. While that game won't necessarily matter as much for Cleveland State University, they're going to be second or third in the standings. Cornell College is fighting for fourth.
Yeah, that should definitely make for an interesting game. And again, Cornell, they came through with a huge win this week, and they were sounding pretty confident in their interview. And, I got to tell you, going into next week, Cornell could definitely have the boost of morale that they're looking for, considering that they came off of a reverse sweep to take the game. And like I said, in the Spring Clash, they did manage to come through and beat the #1 seed. So they know they have the talent, and they know they can take on CSU. So again, I think that should make for more of an interesting matchup than anybody is expecting.
Indeed, it should. And I'm interested to see where things go from here. And one thing's for sure, the answers, we can speculate about them all we want, but they're going to have to shine on the pitch. And by them, I mean every single student who's a part of this Midwest Esports Conference. Folks, it's done. It's dusted. Next week, of interest for you, there is only the Thursday portion of the stream. It is 3 matches going to be on the docket for you. Simpson College, Miami University, Ashland University, Illinois College, and again, the aforementioned Cleveland State versus Cornell College. No Wednesday stream, to my knowledge, so make sure you are up to date on that for the Midwest Esports Conference. League of Legends, though, you want to make sure you catch the normal streams going in through the weekend, although we actually have those going into this weekend. I'm sure that I'll get a voice in my ear on that, whether or not we have that with the live event that's coming up over the weekend. But all that, we can put that to the side. One thing's for sure, is seeing the growth of these young folks as they have grown through the Midwest Esports Conference has been spectacular, and it is one more day of league play to culminate it all, and it's brilliant to see it for the Rocket League side of things, Cap.
Oh, it definitely is. And you know what? Again, we had some great games today. I never thought in a million years we'd be able to see the reverse sweep. That was probably the highlight for me. Again, we knew it was going to be a good game going in, but we didn't know it was going to be that good. And then, you know, seeing CSU continue their momentum that they managed to build from the Spring Clash is definitely going to tell even a better story as we go into the playoffs. And then not to mention ONU on their redemption tour, because they know that they should have finished a little bit higher at the Spring Clash. So they're going to be out for their redemption arc as well. And honestly, the MEC is just shaping up to be one heck of a league going into playoffs. Things are about to pop off. But with that being said, we are done popping off for tonight, because that will just about do it. I have been Captain Etsoka, joined on the desk by Kendo Slice, and we will see you next time for more esports action right here at the Midwest Esports Conference.